So this is a sink or swim industry. People are not going to hold your hand. This is one of the few industries where you have to create whatever it is you want to do. And when you create that thing and it's popping, then people will take notice and they'll be willing to like put an effort behind you. Nobody cares if you are a mom. Nobody cares if you're sick. Nobody cares if you got death in your family. Like, you need to come through. And so I think that is not for everybody.
You just really have to believe in yourself. Like, that's it. If you don't believe in yourself, if you're not going to take yourself serious, nobody's going to take you serious. Nobody's going to help you out. Nobody's going to give you an opportunity. It's all on you. And don't look for necessarily people to help you. Just do what you're supposed to do, and that help may or may not come, but don't expect it to come. Just handle your business. At the end of the day, your word is everything. Your name is everything. The only person that can make me look bad is me. I was pushing records for Grammy-winning artist, Anderson .Paak, and I was pregnant. And the people that I was working with didn't even know that I was pregnant because I was still delivering what I had to do. They didn't know I was pregnant until after I had Kari. You just got to put in the work. Like, now I have a whole new purpose behind me. Like, my son needs some milk. Like, I need a real check. Payment is not always monetary. It could be an opportunity. I'll take an opportunity. I'll take the money. I'll take the experience. I'll take the exposure. But it has to be beneficial to myself and my brain. It has to be some type of way to uplift me or in a positive light. Like, I'm not just doing it for the brand.
What it looks like is really being intentional about your time, where it's going, how much people have access to you, and what you are doing in the world. We want to promote Black excellence. We want to promote, dreaming big and dreaming in action and doing stuff, but we don't want to promote that at the expense of our own health, mentally and physically. It comes from this idea that our value is somehow attached to how much we produce. And that's just not true. Like, you are valuable all by yourself. What you produce is a byproduct of that. It's a manifestation of that, but it's not attached to your intrinsic worth.
A lot of people probably wouldn't categorize themselves as a dancer unless you're getting paid for it. But having a passion, you're not doing it for anyone else. You're doing it for yourself. So I would say stay consistent. Continue to learn in your craft, and stay persistent. If that's something that you want to do, just keep going.
Being freelance, trying to do what you do, and also just being a woman in a male-dominated field in general, girl, that's a whole other... We go for days about that, okay? I feel like self-care is like a buzzword right now, but like the root of that is self-preservation above all else. A lot of the low moments just come in getting lost. As a creative, it's very easy to get lost, to feel like you're not doing enough, to feel like, did I, really hustle as hard last year? There's no 9 to 5, Like, you need to work, you need to create, and that's just that.
Don't get discouraged. Like, stuff is going to happen. Nothing is going to go according to plan, but you just got to keep on pushing. Like, write it down. A list saved my life. It even make me feel good when I cross off that I accomplished stuff on my list. Like, ooh, I'm feeling productive today.
I encourage myself in my low moments by remembering that my life has purpose. Like, regardless of, what may be going on in the moment, it's definitely temporary. And at the end of the day, I know that whatever is going on is for the greater of me, building me up, breaking me down, however God sees fit for him to, maneuver in my life, even though I don't understand it.
It's been a huge transition for me right now. I just had to take a seat back and start to just think about, okay, where do I see myself going? What was I doing before I got pregnant? And what was I planning on doing? What were my goals before I got pregnant, right? You have to sit back and you have to think about stuff like that, because if you forget that stuff, then some people just get lost in being a mother. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, but you see things all the time about, don't just be a mom. Don't just be a mom. You want to, branch out. So when I first found out that I was pregnant, I was a little bit, I don't want to say depressed, But it felt like everyone was a lot happier than I was, because, you know, you grow up and you have this idea of what your life is supposed to be like. And especially with my family, it was always, you know, you want to get married, you want to have the dream job, and then you want to have a kid. And it didn't take me until I spoke with one of my close coworkers that, you know, she said to me, well, if you look at your life now, you're married, you're working in your field, and now you have a baby. So what out of that didn't happen? And I was like, you know what, you're so right. Thinking about it more, it's motivation. You know, it keeps you going. I think people end up being more successful when they have kids because they have something to fight for, you know?
I don't want to say distraught, but because of the lifestyle that I lived, I was extremely emotional. And it basically was like, how do I balance becoming a mom and still doing the things I love? I'm an amazing mother, but I'm still Bianca at the end of the day. I still have to be my own person. I think if you have like a good village around you and supportive family and supportive friends, you'll be able to get through it, because at the end of the day, your baby is all you got. I don't care if the father there, if he's not there, this is your baby. This is your responsibility. How he grows up falls on you. You're definitely gonna get overwhelmed. Like, there's no way around it. You might feel anxiety, you might feel stress 90% of the time, but just because you become a mother, that doesn't mean your life ends. It's an adjustment, but I love it. Like, it's amazing.
For me personally, I get to see my daughter see me strive to do something that I love to do, which in turn I believe encourages her to, you know, be more open, because she comes with me to dance classes and I'll see her, you know, moving around and doing things like that. She's growing in her confidence, so that does a thing for me as a mom. I believe that it can be difficult sometimes off of the strength that, you know, your children are, you know, latching onto you. They need you for so much for a period of time, so getting into that and having to, you know, like, be a mom and then pursuing your goals and the home life and your outside life, it just clashes sometimes, but it's worth it at the end of the day.
For me, because I had my son when I was younger, I was really inspired. I'll never forget watching something about Maya Angelou, who's my grandmother in my head. When she had her son, she put her baby on her hip. She was like 16, and she left to go sing Calypso around the world. And I'm like, well, if Maya Angelou, can go take her baby at 16 years old and go travel the world, like, what is your excuse? So when I found out I was pregnant, I already had been accepted to college. So for me, it's like, well, what am I going to say? Well, now, no, I'm not. No, I'm going. Like, they're going to have to figure it out. So when I went to orientation, I was like 6-7 months. I was like, hey, let's knock these classes out. I just was committed. I was committed from the very beginning. I had people around me who were like super positive, and I just would like pray, like, I don't want to hear no negativity, God. I ain't trying to hear it, and let me just keep pushing through. I remember breastfeeding and trying to write papers. I remember what that felt like, and I'm a single mother. It wasn't even like, oh, I was in a co-parenting situation. Like, no, just me, one bib, all day, working. And my son is 13 now. He don't know nothing but this industry. And we just have a pact, like, I cannot be gone for more than 2 weeks. And that's our thing. The only way to be the best mother for my child was to be the best me for myself. No, it is not always fair to the mamas. No, this is not the industry, you know what I'm saying, that's going to just be a little progressive around, you know what I'm saying, motherhood, breastfeeding, leave, maternity, all of that. However, just know that, like, it's possible. I think 100 projects is great because it pushes us to get into action. Like, a lot of times we are just blocked by fear, by feeling like we don't know enough, by feeling like we don't do enough, by feeling like, well, I'll do it once I find a graphic designer, or this, or that, or whatever. No, you just need a project. once you start and once you begin to get on the journey of whatever that project is, everything will fall into place.
A lot of us got all this idle time, or we trying to figure out what we want to do. This is the time to commit yourself to whatever your craft is, whether it's community service, whether it's a side hustle, whether it's you trying to start up your own business. Like, you need an accountability partner. 100 projects would be that accountability.
It helps you to set a goal for yourself. And especially if we're checking back in on it, like, oh, okay, what you're doing. This is my first one. My 100 project, or my project for myself, is to balance being a wife, being a mother, and still being successful in my career, knowing that I can do it. Because I have set that for myself, now I know like what I'm working towards once I have the child, once I, try to balance motherhood and my work life.
It's motivation for the person that is trying to get a kickstart. It's everybody has a starting point. Everybody starts at that ground zero level. And I feel like 100 projects is just that, push. Saying that everybody is, up and coming. The CEO was a worker bee at one point in time.
Specifically for young millennials who are just inundated with all the possibilities, right, in a way that we weren't 20, 30 years ago. I think it can sometimes be very overwhelming and intimidating, and it just leaves us paralyzed. It's like there's so many ideas of projects that we could create. Where do I start? And then we end up never starting.
Give it, again, encouragement to someone that's looking to start and has not yet created that confidence inside of themselves. And that's stay determined, be focused, and don't be deterred from pursuing your passion.
And so I think this idea of like community, mirroring it after Nipsey Hussle, like all money and no money out, like the marathon is the model right now, especially in our generation.
Even with myself, I started off doing community service. Mine was based in Glass Man. Every year we used to give like over 150 kids free school supplies, free haircuts, free uniforms, hairstyles, all of that. So it's like, with me moving to Atlanta, I kind of got away from that. I want to get back into that. With me being into real estate now, like I want to teach people around me little things that I know, and I'm just learning stuff, but it's like, I got to make sure my son's straight. He going to have his own property and know how to flip houses and know how to hold and know how to invest. Like, we burn back the block. So that's what I'm dedicated to. That's my 100 projects. Real estate, investment, artist development, like it's go time now.
So many people just need a boost. And so seeing us, seeing me, seeing a Black woman, seeing, you doing what you're doing out here, hopefully that motivates other people to get in action around whatever they're doing. So I love it. I'm all for it. I think it's amazing.